Hello and welcome into a Shutter Theory short. I want to talk real quick about crop factor. A lot of people don't really understand what crop factor is versus crop sensor camera versus a 35mm size frame or full frame camera. The full frame camera is based on a piece of 35mm film. The sensor size, the size of the sensor in your camera, is the same size as a frame of 35mm film. Now, a crop sensor camera is 1.5 times smaller than that. It's the size of an APS-C frame. Some of you older guys will remember the APS film format. It was a smaller film and it really failed badly. But it was a smaller film format, and the sensors in APS-C size cameras are the same size as the frame of APS-C film frame. So let's talk about what that means. I said 1.5. Canons are just a little bit smaller. They're a 1.6 times smaller frame. So let's talk about the Canon EOS 90D. That is a really good, really high quality camera that is an APS-C frame. Now I have on this one a Sigma 30mm lens. Now this has about the same field of view. In other words, you can see about the same amount with this lens in your scene as you could with a 48mm lens on a full frame camera. So now, while that may sound like, well, that's just the same as having a 50mm lens, it sort of is, but it's also not. It's the same as having the field of view or scene coverage of a 48mm or 50mm lens. But the properties of the 30mm, the distortion of the 30mm, is still the same. It does not change the optical properties of the lens. So remember, if you're using this as a portrait lens, even though the crop factor or the cropping of the scene is good, you're still going to have distortion of a face if you get too close with that 30mm lens. So you'll want to go into Photoshop or Lightroom in your post-production phase, and during editing you want to fix your distortion. Now if you shoot in RAW and save the lens information in that file, you can correct that automatically. Stay tuned to Shutter Theory. We'll have more coming up. Until the next time I see you, keep learning and take pictures every day.